Let's fucking do this.
Vienna, are you ready for the man of the hour? Give it up for Malinda Perera!
Thank you. Vienna, how are we feeling? Are we well? Man, thank you so much for coming out. It's the recording of the show. Like, you know, I did this show in 50 cities in 25 countries in Europe, and they asked me where I want to do the recording of the special. I said, nowhere else but fucking Vienna. Because this is where it all started, man. I started doing comedy in Vienna, and it's so glad to be back home performing for you guys. So thank you once again for coming out. Yeah? So before I get on with the show, make some noise if you're Austrian. Alright, quite a few Austrians. Make some noise if you're European. Alright. Make some noise if you're not from Europe. Okay, I'm so glad we all made it. It's cool, man. Like, you know, I'm from Sri Lanka, man. You guys know where Sri Lanka is, right? Because most people don't. Some people think it's just a made-up name like Narnia. And some people think it's just another name for Madagascar or something. And most people who have heard about Sri Lanka, they go like, Sri Lanka? That's India, right? Like, why the fuck would I say a different country's name if I'm not from that place? But yeah, man, when I say I'm from Sri Lanka, people always ask, like, it's this question, you know, how did you get here? By plane. I mean, I don't know what's going in your head, you know? Like, maybe I got into a canoe. Like, you know, sailed the 7 seas, you know, crossed the Alpine lines. Just ended up in Vienna, like, you know. I mean, I'm not saying my people are not doing it. Just not one of them, you know. I came to Austria 8.5 years ago, man. Came to Europe 8.5 years ago, like, you know. I finished my bachelor's degree, and I was wondering, what's next for me? What's there for me in the horizon? Which country can I go and steal somebody's job? And I was doing my research like a regular person on Pornhub. And then I found out that Vienna, Austria is the only place where you can have sex in a subway. I'm not talking about the sandwich joint, by the way. I'm talking about like the metro, the U-Bahn. You know, you guys have taken the U6. That's where the party's at. It's crazy, man. That's just the motivation for me to come here. The real reason I came to Austria is to do my master's degree. My master's degree in IT, because I have to live up to my stereotypes. You can clearly fucking see how that went. Started telling jokes in the wrong country, in the wrong language. It's crazy, man. Like, you know, I went to TU Wien. Make some noise if you have been to a technical university. That's very good, man. So I went to a technical university, I went to TU Wien. Regardless of me getting my master's degree, I think I found out the solution for this global problem called terrorism. You guys know terrorists, right? I mean, I hope you don't personally know them. Like, you know, terrorists, like, you know, they blow themselves up, they blow innocent people's lives, like, you know, so that they can go to heaven and find 72 virgins. And I'm like, you don't have to go that far, mate. You really don't have to go that far. Just enroll yourself to a technical university. You get more than 72 virgins, male, female, any gender you prefer. Man, I've been around Europe for like 8.5 years now, almost 9 years. Like, this is my full-time job. I go from place to place telling jokes. You know, where the hell I go, I always get these 3 questions. It's like when people see me, they already have these 3 questions in their head. Like, I don't know if it is the way I dress, the way I walk, the way I talk. I don't know if it is my hair. Like, like the first question is, do you smoke weed? The second question is, do you sell weed? And the third question is, what's the best Indian restaurant in town? Like, it's fucking racist. But I can't even be mad at them because I know the best curry joints in a 10 miles radius. Like, yeah, man, the non-Europeans in the audience, did you guys had any culture shocks when you came to Europe? Yes. Yeah? Nah, man, I had some culture shocks coming from Sri Lanka. The first thing I noticed when I came to Europe, Europeans, they love their bicycles more than they love their parents, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand this relationship, Like, you can get 2 phone calls on the same day, but the way you react to these 2 phone calls is completely different. Like, the first phone call being like, the hospital calling you like, we are sorry to inform you, your mom passed away this morning. And you'll be like, oh, I'm very sad about it. But does that mean I don't have to pay for therapy anymore? Too dark. Also, that's also something I recognize, like mental health exists in Europe, like because back home it doesn't. Somebody can relate. And then the second phone call being, yo man, somebody stole your bike. Lose their shit. It's like, fuck! How am I getting to work tomorrow? Like, public transport doesn't exist here. The second thing I noticed, white people in Europe, man, when you guys go clubbing or partying, you guys love dancing in circles, man. Like, the moment that song that you love drops, you motherfuckers form that circle like... And as a brown person, it makes me nervous. Because for me, the only thing missing in that circle is the fire in the middle to make it look like a clan gathering. This show is gonna be really long, man. And then the third thing, this is the thing that I hate the most. The thing that I fucking hate the most is the calendar. I mean, I don't actually hate the physical calendar. I don't have a problem with the calendar. It's just the way people in Europe use it. Because, back home, if you call somebody and ask, you want to go for a drink? It's a yes or no question. Because who the fuck knows what I'm doing next Tuesday at 4:30 p.m.? Call me next Tuesday, we'll figure it out together. But in Europe, you have to have appointments. Everything has to be an appointment. I mean, I live in Ireland now. It's a little bit different over there. You call your mates and say, let's go for a drink. Your mates are already at the pub drinking, so it's a little bit different over there. But man, in mainland Europe, people love using the word spontaneous. But nobody seems to understand what spontaneous means. Everybody thinks canceling plans spontaneously means spontaneous. I found out this the hard way, man. Because when I was new in Europe, when I was new in Austria, I called my friend, it's Austria, you can only have one friend. So I called my mates, hey, because I was feeling a little bit homesick, I was feeling a little bit low, I was feeling a little bit depressed, so I could really use a drink, so I called my mate, hey Florian, I'm feeling a little bit low, I could really use a drink today, shall we go for a drink? And Flo goes, tonight won't work. Right? I'm like, why not? And he goes, tonight I'm having dinner with my girlfriend. Motherfucker, you live with your girlfriend, don't you have dinner every day? And he goes, nah, tonight's special, now I'm curious. What's happening tonight? And he goes, she's making pizza? Because apparently that's fucking romantic. She's not even Italian. And he didn't stop there, man. He was like, how about next Thursday at 5:30 p.m.? I'm depressed today, not next Thursday. I mean, if you want me to give it a try to be depressed for a whole fucking week, I can give it a try. After all, it wasn't that hard, it's Austria. Man, you know, like, when I came to Vienna, Vienna was expensive. You know, coming from a third world country, Vienna was expensive. I mean, that's what I thought until I moved to Dublin. Like, Dublin is fucking expensive, man. So when I came to Vienna, it was expensive. I needed to find a job. But now the thing is, I wasn't very worried about it because I have a degree in software engineering. I'm doing a master's in IT as well. So I thought this is going to be a walk in the park. So I applied for like 50 jobs. Kept getting rejected. Nobody wanted me. I was confused, like, hey, I have all the requirements you are looking for. Why can't I get a job? So what I did was, I chose a few companies that I really wanted to like work, and then I wrote them back like, hey, could you please explain why you keep rejecting me? Because if it is something I'm lacking, you know, I can work on it and apply back. Sensible thing to do, right? But they all replied back with the same answer. You don't speak the language. I don't speak German. And I was like, it's an IT job. Like, when were IT people known for talking to each other? Like, we are not here to socialize. Just give me a computer, I speak all the languages, the computer understands, we're gonna be buddies. We're good. But that didn't work out, you know? So I was like, you know, I still need to pay my bills, I still need to pay my rent. I moved to Europe, I moved to Austria, like, you know, in my 20s, I was strong, I was young, you know, it's gonna be okay, I'm gonna work in constructions, do some hard labor, you know, it's all right. But that didn't work out either because all my Eastern European friends have taken over that department. So I still need to pay my bills, man. I still need to pay my rent. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna apply as a waiter. How hard can that be, right? So I saw this advert on paper. I was like, fuck it, I'm applying. I didn't even read the requirements until I was on my way to the interview, right? And then I started reading the requirements on my way to the interview. I was like, fuck. This is gonna go well. Because the first requirement said fluency in German. And the second requirement said, this is Austria, you need to know how to be rude to the customers. It's like, yeah, this is gonna be fun, man. So I went to the interview. The interview was really nice in the beginning, man. He was really nice, because he was like, Malinda, don't worry about German. We can send you to a German course, you can learn the language, but you seem like a really nice guy. I don't think this job suits you. However, our secretary's computer is broken. Would you mind having a look and fixing it? I was like, yes. You know, this motherfucker read my CV. He saw that I'm doing a software engineering degree, right? So if I fix this computer, right? Whenever they have an opening for their IT department, I'm gonna remind him, hey, I'm the guy who fixed the computer. You can hire me. So I asked him, did you read my CV? And he goes, nope. Then how the fuck do you know that I can fix a computer? He goes, you know, when you walk through that door, I kinda had a feeling that you can fix it. You fucking racist bastards! But he was absolutely right. I am a nice guy. I did fix the computer. I also changed the homepage to my favorite porn site. I know I'm definitely not getting a job there. I just want to know what the secretary thought about my categories. Nah, man, like I lived in Austria for 7.5 years. Didn't speak German, man. I mean, at this point, I consider that as an achievement rather than a failure. Like I lived in here for like 7.5 years and I fucking survived, you know. But then the government was like, yo man, if you're planning on staying here any longer, you need to learn the language, you know, learn German. So I enrolled myself to a German course, immediately fucking regretted it. Because German is a hard language, man. Let's be honest. German is a fucking hard language, man. Some of the German words are longer than my dick. Okay. But also, do you know what happens when you start learning a language? You start understanding people. And that's not a good thing. All of a sudden, Scheiße, Ausländer and Throttle were not greeting words. Give it up to the girl with the laugh, man. I didn't know Jimmy Carr's daughter was gonna be in the audience. Man, I've been doing comedy for 7.5 years now. 7.5 years I've been doing comedy. I finally decided to tell my mom that I'm a comedian. Yeah, all the colored people understood where this is going. Because you know, that's the thing, man, like, you know, when, like, my mom is brown too, by the way. I mean, I don't know why I keep saying that, like, nobody has ever come to me and asked me, like, Malinda, is your mom Austrian or something? Like, it has never happened, like, you know, but I just want you guys to understand, because you guys look like every other audience that I perform to, like, predominantly white. So I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. When you're born to a brown family, you have these, like, you know, jobs that designated that you must do. Right? Like if you're... Because when you're born to a brown family as a boy, right? You have 5 jobs and it goes in this order. Doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, disgrace to the family. And if you're born a woman, you have 2 options. Either get married to the top 4 or be a disgrace to the family. So, you know... When I told my mom, I'm a stand-up comedian, my mom went, what the fuck is that? So I was like, Mom, I go on stage, I tell jokes, and people laugh, sometimes. And then my mom was like, so Malinda, let me get this straight. You went all the way from Sri Lanka to Austria to get a master's degree in informatics to become a fucking clown? How the fuck am I gonna tell all your uncles and aunties? Like, that's the biggest problem, and that's half of Sri Lanka, by the way. I really hope she does, so I can sell out some shows over there. And then my mom didn't stop there, man. She asked me the weirdest question she can ask. She was like, Malinda, so now that you're following your hopes and dreams, tell me, are you famous? Well, we are recording a comedy special to be distributed around the world in Vienna, don't we? Yeah. You guys made it possible. I don't know if this is going to be part of the show, but I told my mom, like, you know, I performed this show in 50 cities in 25 countries. I was also in Irish national television, and now we are recording the special. I told this to my mom before coming here, and she was like, I don't care if you become the most famous comedian out there. I will still not support your decision. And you know what, Malinda? You can say that on stage. I'm like, what the fuck do you think, Mom? I'm definitely going to say that on stage. I like being brown in Europe, man. I love being brown in Europe because there are certain things, like, you know, that certain people that don't approach us, you know. I call that our brown privilege, right? Because when you're brown, there are certain people that will never approach you, like groups of people. Like the first group of people don't approach you when you're brown are the people who collect your money at bus stations, train stations, shopping malls. Like, you know, these people who collect money, you know, so that they can send it to third world countries so that they can help us. They don't approach us, man, because I think by now they have figured it out that I don't need a middleman to send money to my cousin, like, you know. And then the second group of people, man, I honestly don't know who told our secret to them, right? The second group of people who don't approach us are the beggars. They don't approach us either. Like, you know, I was standing in a train station waiting for my train. This old lady, accompanied by a young guy, started walking towards each and every person who was waiting for the train, asking for spare change. When it came to my turn, they skipped me. I was offended. It's like, what the fuck, you think you're better than me? Fuck you, I'm gonna give you some money, you know, like. So I took out my wallet, I opened it, I looked at it, and then I put it back in because I really didn't have any money. I was like, you did me a solid right there, man. Like, keep walking. Make some noise if you guys enjoyed your lockdown. Nobody? Yeah, one person. Yeah, a couple of people. I don't know why the rest of y'all didn't enjoy the lockdown, man. I loved my lockdown, man. Because this is what I do for a living, man. So during the day, normally, I do fuck all. Like, I literally do nothing. And for like 18 months, I had an excuse not to do anything. You know, my friends will be calling me up, yeah, yo, Malinda, what's up, what's happening? Nothing. It's illegal to do things. Like, you know, it's crazy, man. People went crazy, man. Remember people started walking? Like every time you would go on social media, I walked 17 kilometers today. I walked 15 kilometers today. Like, motherfucker, why the fuck are you incriminating yourself? You're only supposed to walk 5. People started baking. People started baking banana bread. Like, why, man? Like, why would you bake banana bread? Like, the bread in Europe is the best bread in the whole wide universe. There is no better bread than in Europe anywhere else. Why the fuck do you have to stick a banana in it? Don't get it, man. It's crazy, man. Like, supermarkets went empty, man. You remember that? Supermarkets went empty, man. One day I was hungry, I wanted to get something to eat. I went to a spa. Man, not a single fucking onion was left. Everything was just gone. And I was thinking, like, this is 2020 in Europe. Who's cooking? I'm still hungry now, like I still need to find something to eat, so I started walking around the supermarket. You know, ended up in the spice aisle. All the spices were racked up perfectly, nothing being touched. I'm like, yep, that makes sense. And it made me question, man, like, you know, like most of European countries came to our countries looking for spices. And if my history knowledge is accurate, I remember like we gave it to them. Where the fuck did y'all put these spices, man? Because we even gave y'all the recipes. Where the fuck did y'all put our spices? Like, you know? Like the English did the funniest thing, man. They took all the spices and put it on alcohol and called it gin. And they had the nerve to call their national dish the chicken tikka masala. Like what the, like do you even know what masala means? And man, like, you know, like, remember after like 3 months of being in lockdown, they gave like a grace period so you can go out and feel what freedom used to feel like. I'm a party animal, man. I used to party a lot and I missed all party. Are you guys vaccinated? Yeah. Sorry, I asked. I honestly don't care. Because I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, every fucking bullshit, like, you know, not by choice, by the way. It's just a job requirement because I go from place to place, so I have to get all the shots that I need. Now, don't look at me like I'm some sort of an anti-vax or anything. No, that's not the case. It's just that I come from a third world country. This body right in front of you have seen things in life. COVID-19, that's just a Tuesday. You know, so that's the thing, like, you know, when they lifted out the lockdown, I went to every single party I can find, man. I went to every single party, and until this day, I haven't got COVID. But at those parties, I'm pretty fucking sure COVID tried to enter my body. But the gatekeeping immune system was like bouncers to a club. You know, they were talking to each other like, you know that guy? You don't? You over there, what's your name? COVID-19? Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, the club is already full. Maybe try next Saturday. We'll see if we can get you in. Because that's the thing, man. Like, when COVID-19 broke out, you know, like, it took over Europe like a fucking wildfire. Didn't really come to the third world. Didn't go to South America. Didn't go to Africa. Didn't come to South Asia, you know. That's why we have to come up with our own variants. The Indian variant came through call centers. The Nigerian variant came in emails. I'm a prince. 2020 was a weird year, man. Like, remember the Black Lives Matter movement happened? Yeah? 3 years ago, all of a sudden, we were like, ah, fuck, Black Lives actually matter. It was crazy, man. Like, Vienna had the biggest Black Lives Matter movement rally. 50,000 people in all of Europe is the biggest Black Lives Matter movement rally. Like, my take on it is a little bit different, right? Because, like, how I saw it is like there were actual 1,000 black people. And there were like 1,000 people who were related to them. Like, you know, girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives, kids, and whatnot. The rest were just looking for a black friend, man. Like, it's like, I'm here, man. Can we be friends? Oh, man. But now, man, like, because the weird thing is, like, the thing that was weird the most from that time period is, like, let's be honest, man. Austria is not the most friendliest place, right? And I'm used to it. I don't care. I'm used to it. I was already, like, you know, accustomed to it. But after the whole BLM rally, everybody started being nice to me. And I didn't know how to react, to be honest. Like, I was like, why are you being so nice to me? You know? Because this is what I'm used to, man. This is what I'm used to. I'll tell you what I'm used to. I'm used to sitting in a 4-seat compartment on a train or a bus, and nobody is even bothered to sit next to me. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love it. Because I have the whole space to myself. Just keep walking. But after the whole BLM thing, everybody wants to sit next to me. It's like, fuck off, mate. It's like, leave me alone. This is what I'm used to, man. Like, this is what I'm used to, right? I'll be walking down the street. There'll be girls walking towards me. And when they see me, they will cross the street and cross back when they pass me. What the fuck is going on? Like, let's try to picture this scenario now. Right? This is how it, like, let's try to imagine how it could go. So I'm walking down the street now, and I see this girl, lovely looking, rich looking, beautiful girl coming towards me. I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna rob her. And then she sees me, yeah? And then she crosses the street. It's like, fuck! She crossed the street! Now I have to wait for the next one! Because I don't know how to cross a fucking street, do I? It's crazy, man. One time I was standing in the park, you know, this lovely white lady waved at me. I had to do a whole 360 to make sure she was waving at me before she files like a sexual harassment complaint or something. It was crazy, man. Yeah, like, people started being so nice, they forgot the boundaries. I was like, tone it down a little bit, mate. Let's go back, you know? Summer is nice, right? Did you guys enjoy summer? Yeah. Yeah? Are you, like, you know, last summer was very warm. Are you guys ready for this summer? Are you guys ready for hot girl summer? You better be ready, because fat boy winter is following. Nah, man, I love summer, man. Like, we were hanging outside summer, like, you know, when you hang outside during summer, like, you know, I was hanging out at the Donau Canal, right, with some of my friends. And, like, you know, when you guys hang outside, when you need to take a piss, you have to go behind a bush or a tree, like, you know, there's no other way. So I needed to take a piss, so I went to take a piss one time. And I was taking a piss, and then this guy started walking towards me. And I was like, it's okay. He's gonna come here, do his shit, and fuck off. But then when he came closer to me, the most weirdest thing happened. Because he said, hey. Now, before I go on with the story, I have to let you know that there are certain etiquette for when men taking a piss, right? Like, first thing, when a guy is taking a piss at a urinal, like, let's say this is my urinal. Don't worry, I'm not gonna pee on you. I'm not R. Kelly. And you're not 15. Let's say I'm taking a piss, right? This is my urinal, I'm taking a piss. This is the second urinal, and then there's a third one over there, right? When the next guy walks in, he will skip this one and go to the next one. Guys, do we agree on this? Yes. Yeah. Nobody fucking taught us. Like, it's not like one day we went to school and the teacher was like, hi class, today's lesson is how to take a piss at a urinal. No. We just fucking know it. I call it evolution. Right? Like, it's a whole social thing. We just learn it from birth. Like, I don't know how we do that. All right? And then the second thing is you keep looking straight. Right? You keep looking straight. Ladies, that's why we sprinkle. You keep looking straight because you don't want to look down and see any other dicks in your peripheral view. Like, you have already got one. Keep doing your job and fuck off. Right? Simple. And then the third thing is, you don't fucking talk. Because that's the most vulnerable position a man can be in. He has his dick in his hand. You can't have a conversation with your dick in your hand. That's not normal, right? That's not normal. Like, this is how you're gonna look with your dick in your hand, having a conversation. How's it going, mate? How's the kids? Man, how's your wife? She's a lovely woman. Please, my regards to your family. Like, that's fucking creepy, man. Like, you can't do that. But this motherfucker apparently didn't get any of those social clues, right? He wanted to have a full-blown conversation. And I was like, do you mind? Do you see what I'm doing? And he goes, that's rude. Oh, so I am the rude one now. Excuse me, sir, how can I help you? And he goes like, in that case, I have some questions. I just told you I don't want to talk. Now you want to fucking interrogate me? And he goes, in that case, I have one question. It's like, fuck it. It's just one question. What you want to know? Do you have some weed for me? Like, go! I couldn't wait 30 fucking seconds until I finish. Talk to me after the show. Nah, man, summer is nice, man. Summer, like, during summer, everybody want to post photos, like, because winter is all gloomy and dark. Like, summer is, like, all cool. Everybody wants to post nice photos and stuff. I was like, we were still hanging out, and when you hang out with friends, we were doing the same thing, scrolling. And then this photo caught my eye. It was a girl, it was a friend of mine. She was wearing a black bikini, her hat, sunglasses, and flip-flops. It's actually not the photo that caught my eye. It's the caption. Because the caption said, got it from my mama. And me being the curious asshole, I commented, could you be more specific, please? What did you get from your mama? After like 15 minutes, man, I got so many angry emojis. And then I was blocked after like 30 minutes. It's like, what the fuck did I do? I was showing it to my friend, like, do you understand what happened? Like, because I just wanted to know, man. It could have been the bikini, it could have been the hats, it could have been the flip-flops. Just want to know, maybe it's a fucking Christmas gift, And then there was a random guy sitting next to me. He decided this is the right time to intervene in this conversation. He's like, yo, man, you shouldn't have posted that. I was like, why not? And he goes, man, when a girl posts saying, got it from my mama, which means she's referring to her body. So what you did right there was kind of like body shaming, right? So you shouldn't have posted that. I was like, damn, that's deep. Because imagine a guy saying that. Got it from my daddy. You don't want to hear that. No Nobody here wants to hear that. Especially not from the guy you're having sex with. No. If ever he says that, all now you can think about is his daddy's dick. Nobody wants that. Like, it's crazy, man. Make some noise if you're a Tinder couple. Make some noise if you know Tinder. Okay. I was concerned for a minute, man, because I love asking that question. Whenever you ask that question, like, you know, like there's like 3 or 4 people who honestly answer like, yeah, we know Tinder. The rest of the audience goes like break eye contact, like it's a fucking crime or something. No, Tinder is alright, man. Because like I also use Tinder for research purposes. No, I say research because it's different, man. It's different. Like the way the guys use Tinder and the way girls use Tinder is totally different. This is how guys use Tinder. Right swipe, 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 right swipe. Or I have to wait for 24 hours. Like this is how girls use Tinder. Oh, he's kind of cute. He's an engineer. And he has his car. He has his own house in this economy? Nah. All I'm saying is it's just hard to satisfy everybody. You know, like once I had a Tinder match. Like once I had a Tinder match, I got matched with an egg. I got matched with a chicken egg. It was a profile picture. It was her only picture. When I got the notification, you have a new match, I was like, when the fuck did I fucking right swipe this one? I haven't even looked at my phone, you know? But I don't know which one of us were more desperate to go on a date because we both agreed to go on a date. And here I am on the date day, like, you know, waiting for Humpty Dumpty to roll in. It would have been crazy if I actually went on a date with an actual egg, right? Here I am sitting in front of an egg, wondering, should I eat it or fuck it? Nah, man, like, you know, I went on a date with her, like, you know, and she, like, we were getting to know each other, and she told me she's a 24-year-old girl with an 8-year-old child. For those who are not good in maths, I'll repeat. She's a 24-year-old girl with an 8-year-old child, right? So she had a baby when she was 16. And then she told me where she's from. And it all made sense to me. She's from a place called St. Polten. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because if you haven't been to St. Polten, the only fucking thing you can do when you go outside and make babies, like that's all you can do in St. Polten. I told this joke in Poland, somebody has been to St. Polten there, and they were like, hey, they have the Frequency Festival. I'm like, probably that's where she got pregnant, I don't know. Also, man, like, do you know that people use Tinder for different purposes other than getting laid or finding a date? People use Tinder for different purposes, man. All of a sudden, people started asking me for drugs on Tinder. So I had the whole price list, like, you know, on my bio. Like 1 gram for a blowjob, 15 for anal. Ah, man. Like I found out the hard way as well, like, you know, like there was I don't know how old you guys are, I'm 35 years of age. When I was using Tinder, there was this trend, like, you know, like if you are traveling somewhere, you will use this soon emoji followed by the place you're visiting, right? I was going to Napoli, Italy, so I updated my Facebook, Instagram, Tinder bio, everything, right? Within 2 hours, I got a match. I mean, it's not that hard to match me because apparently I have right swiped everybody in town. So she matched me, and then she immediately insisted that we should meet immediately, right? Like, soon after we get matched, she was like, we need to meet soon. As a matter of fact, let's meet tomorrow. I was like, she's thirsty. Because we just got matched. Like, even I wouldn't fucking be bold to ask that, you know? But anyway, like, I had nothing to do the next day. I was like, yeah, let's go on a date. So we went to a cafe, we ordered the coffee, waiter goes to get the coffee, and then she started talking. She was like, Malinda, I don't want you to get your hopes high, but I saw you are going to Napoli, Italy, right? Never knew this was going to be a turn on, but yeah, I am going to Napoli, Italy. And she was like, I have a friend in Napoli, and I have a parcel to send. Could you take it with you, please? I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know? I know about bro zone, friend zone, you know, been there, done that, understand the concept, but this bitch fucking UPS sold me, man, like. But I don't know, like, you know, like, I'm a nice guy, I took the fucking parcel with me. Because she had the parcel on the day, she came with the parcel. How the hell am I gonna say no now? I'm not a dickhead. Because also, I don't know if you know the history of UPS, because once they had a tagline, once you go brown, you keep coming around. She never came around. Yeah, man. I don't use Tinder anymore, man. I don't use any of the dating apps anymore because I'm married. I've been married for 4 years. Thank you. I've been married for 4 years, been with a lady for 6 years. Like, you know, anybody here in an interracial relationship or a marriage? Yeah, that's good. It's fun. It's cute. It's like my wife is Austrian, so she's white. I was broke. Some people are getting now. Like, people. Nah, man. Like, you know, like before I go on with the stories, I like, you know, whenever like, you know, a colored guy is with a white person, a lot of people assume a lot of things, right? So I want to make it clear. It has nothing to do with those kind of assumptions. I just fucking love the Schengen visa. Nah, man, like apparently I have met my wife at a comedy show. I use the word apparently because I don't remember. So after meeting for the first time, like after like a couple of months, she wrote me, she's like, I really like you. You're really funny. Which to I replied, I don't know you. I know I'm a very romantic person. You know? But that's the thing, man, like, you know, I knew she was the one for me on our first date, right? We went out on a date, and then, you know here how it goes, like, you know, after everything at a restaurant, at a bar, like, you know, the waiter comes to you and asks together or separate. And before I fucking said anything, you know, she went, separate. It's like, yes, you are the one I've been waiting for. Because we had 4 beers and I only had money for 2. But yeah, man, like, you know, like, so we really liked each other from the get-go. Like, you know, we really wanted to meet each other again. We wanted to do this again, and we were like, let's do it again. But now, I'm still broke. I had to get creative on our second date. So I was like, hey, how about I come over to your place and I cook you a meal? Does that sound okay? And she was like, I would love that. Let's do that. And then I was like, because I'm a brilliant chef. I was like, what would you like to eat? Like, you know, what's your favorite dish? And she goes, I love curry. I was like, you don't fucking say. But anyway, you know, man, making curry is my specialty. You want curry, I'll make you 3, you know? Fuck it. You know, so I was like, hey, I need to know what I'm working with, so could you please send me a photo of your spice rack? I wasn't asking for her tits, by the way. I was really asking for the real spice rack, you know? So I was like, send me a photo of your spice rack, and she sent me this photo of a Spa Boat curry powder bottle. And I was like, this bitch is dumb. Because I come from a place where I can identify spices. She could have just sent me a photo of the spice rack and I would be like, oh, she got this, this, and that. All right, Grant. But now she's gonna send me one by one. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. That's it! Your favorite food is curry and you've been cooking curry with this abomination? I mean, I don't know if that's the way of the universe telling me, run the fuck away from her. But the only place I could think of running to is the local Indian supermarket. I mean, we've been together for 6 years. Until this date, I have never claimed to have spiced up a bedroom. But I definitely spiced up a kitchen, man. Also, being in an interracial marriage is a beautiful thing because, like, you know, you are together with a person who's coming up from a completely different customs, cultures, and you get to learn a human being in a very deep level that you wouldn't understand, right? So it's a very beautiful thing, right? And if you haven't tried it, try it sometimes, you know? It's okay. But also, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, especially when you go meet the parents. Like, my wife's parents don't speak a word of English. It was great. You know, everything they say, I just go, yeah, yeah. I think that's why they let me marry her. Like, you know, such an obedient man, agreeing with everything we say. Let her marry him. You know, also it's fun when you go for dinner or lunch, you know. They always keep offering me chili with my ice cream. And those chilies are not even spicy, man. So I had to carry my own chili for my ice cream. Yeah, man, it's fun. Like, and the other thing, like, you know, like, we are a very realistic couple. We know how dynamics could change. You know, we also understand nothing lasts forever. Like, we literally got married in a place called Ablaufdatum. Our wedding reception was at a place named Ablaufdatum. If you don't speak German, that means expiry date, right? So we are just waiting for the expiry date to come now. Like, because we got married 6 months before the pandemic hit, right? She's a lecturer at a university. I tell jokes at comedy clubs in the evening. So before she, like, you know, after she comes from work and before I go to work, we had like 2 hours to see each other and discuss our feelings. Fucking beautiful. Pandemic hits, all of a sudden now I have to look at this woman for 24/7. I didn't sign up for that. It's like, fuck. Because when you have been together for 6 years, man, you are comfortable. You are comfortable. There's nothing that you can explore anymore. You have tried everything in the book. You are very comfortable. You are relaxed. Like, you know, she would come to me and she would be like, Malinda, you are coming to bed. I'm like, no, I'm watching Netflix. She's like, are you coming after this episode? No. Just go ahead, you know? So one day she came to me and she was like, Malinda, wasn't it the brown guys who found Kama Sutra? Can't you find like a hidden page or something? And I was like, indeed. It was the brown guys who fucking found Kama Sutra. Do you know what else brown people found? Yoga. When was the last time you saw a brown person carrying a yoga mat and walking around town? I'll wait. No! We found those for white people. So you can come to our countries, go on that recreational holiday, enjoy yourself, and come back to Europe and start aligning your chakras. Also, man, like, apart from the whole pandemic, lockdown bullshit, like, you know, it's kind of like a long-distance marriage because I'm always on the road, like, you know, I'm going from place to place, she's there, and so, like, you know, and she knows I'm very good with the ladies, right? So one day she came to me, before I went on tour, she was like, Malinda, before you get any funny ideas, I want you to get yourself a pocket pussy. Now, I don't know what you call it, like, you know, sex toy, flashlight, I don't know. I'm just gonna stick to pocket pussy because it sounds funny to me, you know? So when she told me that she want me to get a pocket pussy, I was like, how little do you think of my hands? It's been with me for 35 years. Never complained once I came first. But I was curious. So I went on this website called Willhaben. If you don't know Willhaben yet, if you're new to Austria, it's just a second-hand website, like, you know. And I found one. There was a pocket pussy in Willhaben. You know, it was a girl who was selling it. So I wrote her like, hey, I'm interested in your pocket pussy. When can I come and get it? You know? She wrote me the details, when and where to come. So I went there. And then, like, you know, before we, like, you know, finalized the sale, she was like, Malinda, I have to tell you something that's not on the advert. Like, you know, before we finalize the sale, I'm like, go on. And she was like, this was a gift from me to my ex-boyfriend. Right? So when we broke up, I took it back. So I just want to let you know that this has been used before. I'm like, I'll take it. What's the big problem? Now I see some of you in the audience looking at me in utter disgust. Because all the dicks and pussies you are fucking has never been fucked before, are they? We're all fucking virgins here. At least mine goes in the dishwasher. Hers gone the dishwasher too. I'm an ethnically ambiguous person. Like, you can't really look at me and pinpoint and say where I'm coming from, you know? Because what the fuck is Sri Lanka? Like, you know, it's like you wouldn't know Sri Lanka unless we owe you money. So that's the thing, man. Like, you know, people love guessing games, man. It's a very easy question. Like, you know, it's just 3 words. Where are you from? But no, everybody's like, are you from here? Are you from there? Motherfucker, you're never gonna guess. You know, just ask. It's easy. Like, you know, one time I was at a pub, I was at the bar, this American guy came to me and he was like, are you Colombian? Now with Americans, if there are any Americans in the room, you don't have to get confused. I don't get mad at you when you ask such questions because you don't have geography in school. So that's why you have the whole color system, you know. But yeah, like he came to me and he asked me if I'm Colombian, and I was like, if you have seen a 6-foot-tall Colombian, and he started insisting that I should be a Colombian. I was like, how does this work, man? Like, calm your tits. I told you I'm not Colombian, right? And he goes, but you look like a Colombian drug dealer. It's like, why do you have to go that far, man? You know, you could have just stopped at Colombian. But how much cocaine are you looking for? Like I told you guys earlier, I love going to clubs, I love going partying. Like, you know, I was coming out of a club one time, the bouncer looks at me, he goes, oh, you're leaving already? You're my favorite Somali. I am not Somali. And he goes, never mind, next time. I'm not gonna be Somali next time either. Like, you know, how does that work? Go to Somalia and get passport? My ex-girlfriend is Ethiopian, man. She didn't know I was not Ethiopian until the 2nd week of the relationship. How she found out? You know, I was putting on my national dress to go to an event at the Sri Lankan embassy. She walks in the room and she goes, what the fuck are you wearing? It's like, I'm putting on my national dress. She goes, that's not the Ethiopian national dress. I was like, I know. Like, why the fuck would I put an Ethiopian national dress to go to a Sri Lankan event? It's not Halloween. I guess that's why that relationship didn't really work out, because it was all built on a mystery. Like one time this recording engineer came to me and he was like, he needed a jingle recorded for radio. He was like, yo man, I need this jingle recorded in Patois, Jamaican. I'm like, I'm sorry mate, I'm not Jamaican. And he goes, that's a shame. Because it's €100 gig. And it's a bomb cloud, €100? What do you want me to say? All of a started fucking shooting. All of a sudden started speaking patois. Also, like, you know, like, I've been living here for 8.5 years now, like in Europe. I came 8.5 years ago. Like, there are certain sayings that people in Europe use that makes fuck all sense back home, right? Because we are all brown over there and we all hate each other. So, it's just that some sayings does not translate very well. Like, one of those sayings is, I don't see color, I see people. If you're gonna say that, don't be proud of it because it's a condition. Go see your eye doctor. You need to fucking see color. Like, you know, if you don't see color, it's nothing to be, like, you know, proud of. Just go see your eye doctor, get it checked. You need to see color in the world. That's what makes the world beautiful. Now, if you all of a sudden start thinking one color is better than the other colors, that's when the problem starts. You know? But, however, some of my white friends, I honestly think they're colorblind with the shit that they come up to me with, man. Because I have a friend, he went on a Europe trip, man. He went to every single country in Europe. Europe is a beautiful place, man. If you haven't gone to every single country in Europe, do that because it's a very beautiful place. It has a lot to offer. So this motherfucker went all across Europe and he was posting gorgeous photos, man. Every time I would go on Instagram or Facebook, it's just his photos. I'm like, damn, this is a beautiful place, you know? So I waited until he came back to town. I was like, yo, man, that trip you went on is fucking gorgeous, man. Must have cost you a fortune. And he's like, it actually didn't really cost me that much. I was hitchhiking and couch surfing. Malinda, you should try it sometime. Hitchhiking and couch surfing. Me. I get my Airbnbs cancelled when they figure out I'm not a woman. Now imagine me doing this by the road. Who the fuck is gonna stop, man? I know I wouldn't. Hitchhiking and couch surfing. Also one time, some of my university friends, you know, came to me during summer. It was like, Malinda, we are going to Salzburg. Would you like to join? Salzburg is a great place. I would love to join. And he goes like, do you know what we're going to do in Salzburg? I was like, I suppose you're about to tell me. It's like, yes. We are going to Salzburg to visit a haunted castle. Let me stop you right there real quick, mate. Because have you watched horror movies? Who dies first? The black guy. The brown guy dies even before the movie starts. Have you ever seen a brown guy in a horror movie? I don't think so. I didn't go on that trip, man. I didn't go on that trip. That's why here I am telling jokes. Didn't want to die even before a trip started. I miss fucking, man. Yeah, there's no other way to say it. I miss fucking. Not the city, by the way. Because, like, you know, I'm a 35-year-old man. I'm married. Like, you know, what I usually get to do is make love. On a good day, I get to have sex. But fucking, that's different. You know, that's when somebody owes you money. Like, nah, here's the thing, man. Like, I am from Sri Lanka, man. I'm an island boy. I'm a proper island boy, not the TikTok kind. Not the, I'm an island boy. No, not that fucking bollocks. I'm the real deal. I'm a real fucking island boy. I used to wear flip-flops and shorts and run around Colombo all day, all night. You know, I'm a real island boy. Came to Europe, all of a sudden, I'm exotic. Like, girls were like, oh, you're from Sri Lanka? Ooh, that's so exotic. Calm down, Mitch. Because back home, man, like every time I would have sex, I considered that I scored a trophy. It's not something I say out loud proudly. I just want you guys to understand how hard it is to have sex in Sri Lanka. I can count the number of times that I have had sex in Sri Lanka with one hand, and I don't need all my 5 fingers. I came to Europe, I became the trophy. Yeah, like, you know, and it's not the fucking part I miss, man. It's the stories that comes with it. Because we all have those stories, man. Most of them are fucking regrettable, but all of them are memorable. You want to tell those stories. Like one time, this lady took me home. Immediately when we entered her apartment, I knew something was gonna go wrong. Because that house was so monochromatically white, the only two non-white things were the brown rug in the living room and me. It's like, this is gonna be fun. So we went into her bedroom and we did our job. It was a good 2 minutes and... Oh, you're laughing at 2 minutes? Have you used a toothbrush, electric toothbrush? It's long enough. But anyway, we did our job and she goes, okay, you can leave now. Don't get me wrong, I love that. Job done, fuck off. Those are rules I live by. But now the problem was, I was new in town. It was past midnight. I know nothing about nightlines. My phone was dead, you know, and she didn't have a charger for my phone, so I had to wait until the first bus that I know how to take home. So I told it to her, I explained it to her, and she goes like, you can stay over, but you're not sleeping in my bed. I found out why the brown rug was there for. I found my place. It's all right, because what she didn't know was, she just fucked a man who comes from a region where they invented karma. I'll get you next time. You know? So the next time comes, I invite her over to my place. She comes over, like we did our job again, a good 2 minutes. But I'm a nice guy. So I gave her two options. I told her she can either stay on the couch or she can pick the basement. She was Austrian. You can pick which one she picked. No, she picked the couch. You don't have to be racist. I don't think, like, you know, she wanted to pick. And then the next time this girl took me home, like, you know, the moment we entered her apartment, things were started to get hot and heavy. Like, you know, the moment that door closed behind me, my pants dropped down to ankle. She went down on me. She started giving me a blowjob. After like 30 seconds, she looked at me and she went, "Can I call you my slave?" Out of all the fucking questions she could have asked me. She could have asked me if I smoke weed. She could have asked me if I sell weed. She could have asked me for the best Indian restaurant, man. I could have fucking told her. But no, that's the fucking question she chose, man. I was furious, man. I was like, bitch, have you read a history book? Because if you haven't, this should be the time you should start reading. I was fuming, man. I was so angry. I pulled my pants up, kicked her in the face. I fucking slammed the door behind me. It's what I should have done and what I should have said. Instead, what came out of my mouth was, "Girl, you can call me anything you like. And if this goes well, you can start selling me to your friends." So that's it, man. Like, you know, I went, like, I'm tired, like, you know, I'm tired of, like, you know, people asking me, like, you know, ever since I came here, "Are you a drug dealer? Are you a drug dealer?" So I decided I'm gonna do a whole fucking show about it and take it across Europe and tell them that I'm not a drug dealer. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna record a special and distribute it around the world to prove that I'm not a drug dealer. According to my mom, I'm just a fucking clown who just want to see the world laugh. That's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Vienna, are you entertained? Man, thank you so much for coming out, man. I had to bring the show back home, like, you know, this is where it all started. I started doing comedy in Vienna and I had to bring my first solo to Vienna. So thank you all, like, thank you so much for coming out. I really enjoyed it. I love you all. Thank you very much. I see you guys